Recording is on.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining me for today's AI for Printers Break the Rut workshop. Thank you for those of you that joined early. You heard Corey's story of how he used one single AI workflow, excuse me, to accomplish over 2 weeks of work in just 35 minutes. Still sounds unbelievable to say that, but I've got Corey on video saying that. So that's the kind of thing we're going to dig into today. But we're not going to get there right away. We want to build up to it just a little bit. So let's do that. Today's AI workshop will be hands-on. We'll have a starting point. Perhaps you've already had your starting point and you're already using AI productively. Maybe you've tried AI and been underwhelmed by the results of your experiments. Or perhaps today is your starting point. So wherever you're at on your AI journey, you'll find something you can use from today's workshop. And for those of you attending live, you will get an AI workflow prompt that's going to help you get some real work done, similar to the experience that Corey just had here. So I am Dave Hulton. I am the president of Marketing Ideas for Printers. I'm also a member of Simple Academy, which is a community of the world's leading experts on AI skill development. And at Simple, our mission is to guide you through the transition to an AI-powered economy. And my job is to help you as a commercial printer navigate the transition and guide you on the journey to becoming an AI workflow master. All right, what's an AI workflow master? Well, to be perfectly clear, that's a term that my AI community invented to create a shared language around this idea. And this is what we mean by an AI workflow master. Andrew Wilkinson is a billionaire that runs an internet holding company. You can think of him like the Warren Buffett of internet companies. And this is his post on X, hiring for an AI first director of finance. So it's not a post for hype. He's running a serious business. He's hiring for a serious role. And the big punchline in his post is that he's looking for someone that can do the work of 10 people by using AI. And that's today's reality. People applying for jobs need to demonstrate that they can do the work of 10 people with the assistance of AI. And that has some implications. That means in your current role, one of the implications is the expectation is for you to do the work of 10 people by using AI. That also implies for your future role that you'll be able to learn new roles and new skills 10 times faster. And then finally, that also says you need to prove it. There's certifications that come along with that prove you can do that kind of work with AI. So all of that gets bundled up into the term AI Workflow Master. All right, as we go through today, we are going to learn through doing. So in a moment, we'll have an exercise to kick things off. Before we do, though, just a few things just to get ready for that exercise. Make sure you have your favorite AI tool open and ready to use. That can be ChatGPT. That's the horse I rode in on and the one I'll keep riding. But it can also be Claude, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, any of the common AI platforms. So have that ready to go because we'll go hands-on. Big difference between just passively consuming the information and actively participating in the workshop. So have your AI ready to go. If you really are at the starting point and just looking to get started and you don't have a favorite yet, just go to chatgpt.com and create an account. It takes about 30 seconds to do so. Now, the next part, and I need to get my chat open and I encourage you to do the same because this is one of our crowd participation moments here. Go ahead and drop into the chat why you're here. I need to see an answer here. That's the only price I'm asking because later you're going to get the free AI workflow prompt. So that's the price of getting the prompt. Just give me a little crowd participation. Tell me a little bit about your team's AI usage. That could be A, you use AI, but your team does not. B, a few people on your team use AI casually. C, your team is already using AI. You have a structured approach for using AI. Or maybe you don't have a team, that you're a solo worker. So go ahead and just drop that into the chat, the one that matches up most closely with how you use AI at your company. All right, I see a few chats, a few answers dropping in. Thank you. You get the AI workflow prompt for free later, so I'm glad to see that participation. I'd encourage the rest of you to also drop in your answers into the chat. And I'll just hang out and make it a little uncomfortable for you until you do. So, okay, there we go. We're getting a few more answers. So we'll go ahead and we will move along. We'll have another opportunity for you to drop into the chat in a little bit. And actually, you'll need to for some of the hands-on work that we'll do. All right, so setting the stage for the agenda. I'm going to take a few moments because it's important to get a feel for what an AI workflow is. So I want to show you the progression from a simple prompt to an upgraded prompt to an AI workflow prompt. So a simple prompt, what's that? That's the basic question. Basic question in, get basic response from AI. It's tell me a knock-knock joke. AI will definitely tell you a knock-knock joke if you ask it to. The simple prompt, that's also available at aiforprinters.com as part of our tip of the week. And honestly, it's too simple. I hope you don't use it. I'm using it as an example. But that simple prompt that we'll just use here, well, let me talk about that. The simple prompt, will upgrade it, simple prompt to an upgraded version. That's also available at aiforprinters.com. I'll drop that into the chat here as well in a moment. And then we're going to finish with the AI workflow prompt later in the workshop, but we'll talk about it now. So back to our regularly scheduled programming. What is the simple prompt? It's this, and I'll drop it into the chat and you can try it out along with me if you want. But it is very simply, suggest 3 new product or service ideas that are adjacent to my current print offerings. Focus on stretch opportunities that would help me stand out from my competitors. And we can actually run that, and I will run that, and you can too. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but if we drop that in, it'll give us a simple response. Now, it's maybe not even simple, but it will give us a response, but it's certainly not as robust of a response as we could use to be something that's going to be truly useful and helpful. Not a bad response, absolutely works, but a little bit light on execution and implementation and strategy. So that's an example of a simple prompt. We can upgrade that prompt, and this is the exact same prompt upgrade you would get if you went to aiforprinters.com. I'll also drop it into the chat here just so you can see it, and we can kind of dissect it a bit. So it's coming into the chat now. There it is. You can grab it and run it if you'd like. I'll do the same, but just to talk through it very briefly. Now the prompt, same type of an idea, but we're doing a few more things here. We're saying that we're giving AI a role. We're saying you are an innovation strategist, and your role is to help me uncover bold adjacent product or service opportunities that differentiate my print shop. And then we're having AI ask us some questions. You can see the 3 questions, and the reason is now it's getting more context, more information about how to make this relevant. And then once I, as the human, provide you, AI, with all answers, now go ahead and suggest 3 to 5 adjacent opportunities that push me beyond the usual add-ons, that are different enough to make me stand out, that include a short action step for how to start testing each idea this month. So let's go ahead and run that one. I'm going to just start a new chat with that. And we'll let AI do its thinking. I'm going to stay high level on this here. But you can see that AI now is just asking us, what are your current core products or services? I have some answers ready to go just so I can move quickly. You can answer those more thoughtfully if you'd like, of course. But we'll just let AI run with that. And another question, who are the primary customers you serve today? Again, I have some ready to go answers. Have a few thoughtful moments when you do this for real to answer with your answers. And now a third question, what kind of expansion are you most curious about? Again, just use some of my ready to go answers just so we can keep it moving here. And now all of a sudden AI is coming out and saying, well, here are a few things you could consider: local business marketing subscriptions, community impact print partnerships, event in a box kits, subscription for organizers, and so on. And then AI is going to keep us going. I'm staying high level on that, but hopefully you are starting to now see the difference between a simple prompt and upgrading it with an upgraded version of it, where you're actually getting a little bit more work done with AI. Then we have the AI workflow prompt. This is part of what we call the AI MBA. It's from a course called Where Good Ideas Come From. And just so you can get a little bit more of a feel for that, let's quickly drag this window in. If you were to get inside the AI MBA, you would see that you would get a number of AI workflows, just like the one that we will feature a little later in the workshop. And so the AI workflow prompt takes that upgraded prompt and even goes further. It gets you even better results that are going to be aligned with consultant level, world-class consultant level results. Results like Corey talked about in the video prior to the live start of of today's workshop, where he did over 2 weeks of work in just 35 minutes. Sounds unbelievable, but that's the kind of work that can be done with an AI workflow prompt. We'll unpack that more as we go. For now, the biggest thing I wanted to do, though, was to make sure you saw that progression from simple to upgraded and then to the AI workflow prompt. So here is another question for you, another crowd participation moment. Maybe a little bit unfair because you've not yet seen the AI workflow prompt, but you can kind of get a feel for where we are going with that. So where are you at on your AI journey? Which way do you use AI that most likely matches up with what I've shown you here? Is it A, you're using simple prompts, quick in, quick out answers? B, are you using prompts like the upgraded prompts where you're getting better structure and stronger results, but it's still one-off? Or C, are you using prompts like the AI workflow prompt, which is structured, repeatable, and highly productive? All right, and thank you. You all got your answers in very quickly. Great, glad to see that. So lots of A's and B's, a little bit of mix of A's and B's, which is great. That is a very common place for people to be. Let's see where you can go with option C, with that next step in the AI journey. So that is the setup. That gets us to today's agenda. And we are going to talk now about you and your AI skill development. We'll talk about the 3 actions needed to become an AI workflow master. We'll talk about the 3 opportunities that exist for AI workflow masters. And then finally, the 3 options for participating in an AI saturated world. Spoiler alert, here's what's coming. For attending today's workshop, you will have the opportunity to get a $4,000 scholarship, which contains $4,000 in AI certifications and training. We'll talk about that more as we go. At any point, if you've not already taken advantage of that scholarship, just drop your email address into the chat at any time, and we'll make sure to get you set up with that. We'll have more detail at the end, but just from a high-level summary on that, the benefits are from the AI Workflow Practitioner part of the scholarship. There's really 3 pieces to it. The Workflow Practitioner part of that is 9 ready-to-use business-focused AI workflows. You'll learn how to use them, and you can tell the world that you can use them with the certification that goes along with them. That's free with the scholarship for everyone in your organization. The other piece of it is the AI Workflow Expert certification. That's 8 workshops. Well, there's really 9. There's an introductory course in there as well. But these are the workshops that teach you how to build AI workflows, just like the ones that we're going to be talking about as we go forward here. That you will get an AI Workflow Expert certification to promote those skills to everyone you know that you can build AI workflows. That's also free with the scholarship. There's a limit of 1 workflow expert certification per company. And then the AI MBA is also part of that scholarship, a 30-day trial. We'll talk about that again as well. Who's claiming these scholarships? It is the serious AI people. That means that's people that either are or wants to become an AI workflow master. If you don't feel like a serious AI person yet, don't worry about that. We can change that. That is absolutely within your reach. You will be a serious AI person by the end of this workshop. All right, let's do it. So just a reminder that if you want to get that scholarship for free, make sure you do that on this call. So if you think you might drop off before the end, I see a number of you already have dropped in your email address, which is great. We'll make sure to get you set up with that scholarship. So anytime during the workshop, make sure to do that. So let's talk about the 3 actions associated with AI skill development. We have productivity, performance, and engagement. It starts with this simple question. How can AI help me do my work faster and easier? Fair question. Well, AI will help us build a toolkit of all our areas of responsibility and the daily work we do in those areas of responsibility. And this is going to be one of the hands-on moments here. So have your AI ready, because in a moment, I'll give you AI instructions to build your own productivity toolkit. Productivity toolkit, that's your areas of responsibility, similar to what's on the screen. It'll be customized to your specific areas of responsibility. And when we do these instructions in just a moment, you'll see those start to show up across the top. And then as we fill in the rest of the grid, which AI will do for you, that's going to fill in the daily work you do in each one of those areas of responsibility. Now, it looks like a lot of information on the screen. And the reason it looks like that is because it is a lot of information on the screen. Now, you have permission to ignore it for now, and we'll bring more attention to that in a bit. So now we're going to take a few moments to help you create a toolkit like this for your role, and we'll do that right now. And I'm going to do that by giving you this prompt. Again, another big, huge wall of words. Pay no attention to everything that looks like. It is not as intimidating as it looks, but I do need to copy and paste. Now I'm going to drop this into the chat, but do not run it yet, because there's one small customization we need to make for it to be relevant. So here it comes in. It's coming into the chat, and I am going to add that to my chat GPT and show you what needs to be customized. So again, don't run it until you get the instructions, but you can go ahead and paste it in. And what I'd like you to do now is just take a look at those first 3 lines. It's already customized and ready to go. If you are an owner, if your company size is 10, and if your industry is commercial printing. If that's true, go ahead and run it. But if that is not you, change the company size, change the role, change whatever needs to be changed in those first 3 lines to make that real for you. Once you've done that, then you can run that. And I will run it, and you can do the same. So what we've done is we've just given AI instructions to come up with your personal productivity toolkit here. And it'll show up. Let me hide my sidebar. Sorry, my mouse is getting lost between my 2 screens here. So I'm going to hide my sidebar because it'll start showing up, and it's a little bit wide for my smaller screen. But you should see something similar to this, the first draft of your AI productivity toolkit. The roles and responsibilities are across the top. The daily work starts to fill in the columns. So take a look at that. And our experience shows that it's going to be about 80 to 90% accurate right out of the box. If it's not, if you see some just glaring red flag in there, and I don't know what it would be, but if you can say that in your role, you are not responsible for risk management and compliance, just have that conversation with AI. Say, I'm not responsible for risk management and compliance. Find a different column for me, or find a different cell for whichever item that you want to pick in there. So take a look at that. If it's today, we're just looking for roughly right. If you do that and have a few thoughtful moments and want to look at that in more detail, go ahead and do that. But for today, we're just looking for roughly right. So at this point, you should be seeing the first draft of your personalized, customized AI productivity toolkit. So what does that mean? What are we going to do with that? Well, on my screen now, this is a complete productivity toolkit for sales and marketing in commercial printing. Now, what you have on your screen, that's not a complete toolkit yet. What you have is a toolbox with a bunch of labels on it, and it still needs to get filled with the tools. Now, how do you fill it with the tools? Well, what's on my screen and yours, that is a completed toolkit. I said that wrong. What's on your screen is not a complete toolkit, but all of the tools still need to be built. So the first way to get a completed toolkit is you can get a pre-built toolkit like the one I have on my screen. But later, as we go through the workshop here, I'll show you how you can build the tools for your own toolkit too. So two ways to get it: to use the pre-built ones that we have ready, or learn how to build your own. AI workflows. As we've talking about AI workflows, every box on this screen is an AI workflow. Just to be clear, every tool in the toolkit is an AI workflow. So let's take a look at one of those. I want to show you how one of those works. I want to show you the productivity toolkit, the item for lead scoring model here. This is a tool that'll help you stop guessing at which leads to follow up with and start focusing on the sales that matter most. So this is one of the tools that is available in our ready-to-use toolkit, and it looks like this. Now, this is a longer prompt, so this is that progression from a simple to an upgraded, and now we're at an AI workflow prompt. So I'm going to drag that one into my browser so that you can get a feel for that, because there are a few things I want to point out as we do that. And let me get back to a good starting point here. Here's what an AI workflow does: the lead scoring model. We could do some thoughtful work with this. Going back to what Corey said in the video before our workshop started, he took 35 minutes to do 2 weeks worth of work. So even 35 minutes for a workshop is longer than we want to take, but we can stay high level. And there's a few things that I want to point out. What are the characteristics of an AI workflow? So this is it. AI, we paste in that big wall of words. We don't pay attention to them, but it's instructions that tell AI to work as an AI workflow. And you're going to see that it's going to work with us step by step. We're not letting AI just run off and do all of the work all at once. AI is going to take over the world someday. I think it's scheduled for a little bit later this year yet, but we're not there right now. We still want AI to have a few pauses so that we can come alongside it and keep it on track and keep it on course and saying, here's where we're going. That's why there are multiple steps in here. So step one, identify introduction. We want to clarify what the model should achieve, this lead scoring model. So it actually helps the sales and marketing team prioritize time and effort. Sounds like a good goal already. So AI is stopping and asking us for some context. What are the main challenges you face in prioritizing leads? We're staying high level. You would take the thoughtful moments, but we'll just say all of the above, just so we can keep it going. Too many unqualified leads coming in, and you saw the other lines there. An AI saying, once I know this, I'll define the objectives of your lead scoring model and ask you to confirm if they align with your sales priorities. Okay, so we said all of those. AI says, well, here's what I heard you say. Saw all of those. And then we're saying, do we agree with that? There's our first checkpoint. Is AI going in the right direction? This is where we can stop and say, you got something wrong there, AI. We need to course correct a little bit. But most of the time, AI is right on the mark, and so we'll agree and keep on going. I'll just say that, so the question on the table is, do these objectives align with your sales priorities? I'll just say they align and continue. Again, just want to reiterate, I'm staying high level here. So we're not going to take all of the time that would be needed to do this right, but we're still going to get really good results just by keeping AI on the roughly right direction. So AI moves to the next step, identifying high value lead attributes. Draft high value attributes for your business. So AI is saying, what are those high value leads? Company size, industry fit. You can see the whole list going here. AI says, does this list reflect your ideal prospect profile. Boy, sure sounds good to me. We'll agree. We'll just say, let's continue. Again, just to beat the horse completely dead, if you saw something that says, nope, not quite right, we need to change just a bit, we can change just a bit and have AI course correct every step of the way. Step 3 on our lead scoring model, defining engagement signals. Let's capture the behavior signals. And what are the behavior signals of those leads? We could start scoring them based on requesting a quote, responding to sales outreach, and you can see the whole list, again, staying high level. Are they accurate or are they wrong? We'll just agree, continue to step 4. So step 4, another course correction moment, another context gathering moment. AI says not all attributes or behaviors matter equally. A referral or quote request should clearly carry more weight than social media like. So let's build a weighted system. And AI is now proposing, what does that scoring system look like if we make it a weighted system? Same thing as before, take a few thoughtful moments, play that out for what's real and meaningful for you. For today, to keep it high level, we'll just say, AI, you're doing amazing. Yes, this looks great. This is one of these cases where it probably takes me longer to talk about it than it does for AI to actually do the work. We are near the end of it though, so we'll go to step 5, implementing a system for score updates. Leads score shouldn't stay static. It should rise as they engage and cool off if they go inactive. Well, how do we handle that? Here's the system AI is suggesting. Does this update process ensure accurate prioritization? I'll take a few thoughtful moments if you were to do this for real, but for today, we'll say, yes, this is great. And AI is bringing us home. We're ready to put this into practice with step 6. The model only works if your sales team uses it daily. We'll define exactly how scores guide their actions. Here's our integration plan, CRM visibility, daily prospecting, follow-up rhythm, and all of the rest. And so we'll race towards the finish line here. Step 7, final review and implementation. We're pulling it all together. This concludes the process. Would you like to make any changes to the model before we consider it finalized? And AI, being the friendly thing that it is, will just allow us to keep going as long as we want. So I took a little extra time to unpack that. I wanted you to make sure that you see how an AI workflow works with just this wall of text, which now seems like it's not that much because of the things that it can accomplish. We've brought in world-class expertise. We have taken step-by-step actions to do meaningful work, course-corrected AI when necessary to get a ton of work done in just a short amount of time. That's what AI can do, much more than tell me a knock-knock joke type of questions and answers. So we will have done several hours of work in just less than a few moments. And so then that brings us to the first of 3 turkey problems. So there are 3 turkey slides in this presentation. I'll give you some bonus points if you find all of them. I experienced this turkey problem head on when it became clear that AI was going to impact the way that we provide marketing services to help you sell more printing. It comes from a book called The Black Swan. It's an amazing book published around 2009, and it's about the fact that we live in a very unpredictable world where the things that matter the most for the long-term success of the economy and our society and really everything else can be changed in a moment by something unpredictable that just comes out of nowhere. So what do you do when you live in a world like that? Well, in one of the chapters, the author talks about what he calls the turkey problem. It goes like this. The turkey wakes up every single day and is predictably cared for by a farmer. The turkey gets fed every single morning, gets to go and play out in the yard with all of its turkey friends, has a really nice place to hang out every night. So this turkey is basically taken care of, and that cycle repeats itself day after day after day after day until eventually the turkey concludes, "Ah, this is what being a turkey must be like, and life will be this way forever." Well, that's true until one day, usually right before a holiday like Thanksgiving, when a turkey usually ends up on the table, something changes. The farmer comes out, grabs the turkey by the neck, and all of a sudden, it's lights out. Now, that turkey problem shows up like this in the real world when it comes to AI. Turkey problem says, okay, AI can do this task, but I don't need to pay attention to that because it can't do, and then fill in the blank. Take a look at that productivity toolkit that's on your screen from our exercise earlier. Now fill in that blank with whatever item seems most impossible for AI to do. So here's what I'm going to suggest. If it's on your screen in that AI productivity toolkit right now, if it's on your screen, it means in your current role, you plus AI can do the job at least 10 times faster with no compromise in quality and usually an increase in quality. All right, let's unpack that a bit because there's a few things to talk about in that one. So I think we can all agree that it can be at least 10 times faster. Hopefully you've already seen that in the little bit of work that we've done today. The amount of work we can compress down in just a small amount of time. With no compromise in quality. Well, is that true? Is there no compromise in quality? That one might have you wondering, yeah, I don't know, AI, no compromise in quality. But think of what we just did in the AI workflows. There were multiple steps in that. So your role is to come in as quality control and keep AI on track. So if there's a compromise in quality, that finger points right back at us because that's our job, is to provide quality control while AI is going forward there. And then there's that last part, and usually an increase in quality. That one can maybe even feel a little bit bristly, and that will become increasingly true over time. Maybe 2 years ago, when AI was just starting to roll out mainstream, that may not have been true. But AI is progressing fast, and that's the rule now, is we are seeing an increase in the quality of the work that it can do when compared to us as the humans. Oftentimes, that is more often true than not true. All right, that also implies in your future role, you can also significantly accelerate and many times even skip the lengthy learning process. Because the best way to learn something is to do it, and the best way to learn how to do something with AI is to do it with AI, just like we're doing with these workflows. All right, let's keep on moving here then. Let's go on to performance. So we're going to get your grid in front of you because if you take a look at that productivity toolkit, most people are going to find maybe 5 or 10 workflows in that productivity toolkit that really move the needle and saving them a bunch of time. It's not unusual to find that people will shave maybe 20% of their daily work time if they find the right combination of workflows in there. And here's what that means. You can think of it this way. If you're used to doing your job Monday through Friday, shave 20% off. Well, now you can do it Monday through Thursday. Take time on Friday to be more strategic. And that's where we start to get into the performance experiments. So with AI, a great way to become more strategic is to run what we call performance experiments. And whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. Let's bring that closer to our world. If you're the printer running the most performance experiments, AI will help you be the printer that wins. So let's get ready to create a performance experiment toolkit. So get your AI up and ready again. Have that same screen that we used before, and I'll give you instructions that you can use to build your own performance experiment toolkit. And what you'll see is key performance indicators similar to this one. They'll show up across the top, and you will see the key performance indicators. These are the things that you're responsible for doing better over time in your role. And then in the columns, you'll see a combination of experts in the field and the known strategies from those experts to help you get the results that you desire. So I am going to drop this prompt into the chat now, and you can build your own performance experiment toolkit. So here it comes. kind of a weird thing that sometimes happens. I don't think it happens today, but in the chat, sometimes the chat interprets some of those things as smiley faces. So if you see some weird emojis in there, that's fine. You can just still copy it and it'll turn back into normal when we run this prompt. So let's go ahead and run that prompt and now go back to that same chat that has your productivity toolkit from earlier. I'm going to find mine. There it is. And this time, because we've already customized the first toolkit, AI knows about you. You don't have to customize anything this time. Just take what's in that chat, that performance experiment instructions, drop it in and run it. And what you will see is AI coming up with your performance experiment toolkit, the first draft. Again, I'll hide my sidebar so you can see this on my smaller screen. It'll fill up my screen. Depending on how big your screen is, you might see it all. You might have to scroll around a bit. But this is now filling in with a combination of experts in the field and the known strategies they have to help you get the results that you desire. Don't worry about those instructions looking scary. Don't worry about the results looking intimidating and scary. This is valuable stuff here. It's all pre-written, but it turns into valuable information. All right, so by now you should have something very similar to what I have on my screen, customized for you because AI is working with you. And now what do we do with that? So it's another wall of text. It's not interesting as a wall of text, but what it represents is very interesting. The time it saves and the value it creates. This is the kind of work that represents tens and thousands of dollars, and we're compressing clock time and calendar time to accomplish that work. So we're going to take a look at the Performance Experiment Toolkit within the AI workflows for sales and marketing and commercial printing. Again, this is the toolkit on my screen. It's another toolkit that's ready for you to use as is. That's the easy button way to get started. But if you want to learn how to build AI workflows like these for yourself, I'll show you how to do that as we continue here. But let's take a look at one. We're going to take a look at the performance experiment for increasing retention through hyper-personalized experiences. And in this case, I'm not going to run it because we've already seen how an AI workflow works, but I'll just give you a quick peek at a pre-run version of that. Let me get to the right one here. The hyper-personalization strategy. So if I go all the way back up to the top, again, just to keep us calibrated on our expectations, there is the AI workflow, big wall of text that we don't need to worry about. It's just well-structured instructions that tell AI, work with us as a consultant level world expert to help us with this level of personalization tool here. So as we saw before, it'll walk with us step by step. Step one is AI introduces the step. It asks us for more context, more information. We provide that information and it moves through step one and asks us to confirm that step one is aligned with our expectations. Then we go on to step two. Same thing. It asks us for information. It takes that information, works with it, and asks us to confirm all the way. Step three, step four, step five, all the way to the bottom when we have, get to the very bottom there, a final deliverable, the hyper-personalization strategy. Customized for your work as the owner of a commercial printing company with 11 to 50 employees or whatever it is that we've customized it for you or as you use that. And everything in there starts to unfold a very robust and detailed personalization strategy. All right, so that is a very high level overview of one of the AI workflows in the Performance Experiment Toolkit for sales and marketing in commercial printing. That's the one that I just showed you. Let's keep going here. All of these can be turned into a bunch of experiments to help you move forward. AI can help you run these experiments in a hugely efficient manner. So as we do this, notice as you use the workflows like this, you'll notice that AI will pull information out of you. It'll help bring things to the surface that you might not have thought about before. And so what we have on the screen is a whole bunch of experiments. And bring this up again, whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. If you're the printer running the most performance experiments, AI will help you be the printer that wins. So every business goal can be improved by running experiments. Out of the 10 ideas that you try, most will move the needle in the right direction. One might even backfire. And somewhere in that mix, though, is the breakthrough idea. And the only way to find that breakthrough is to run the experiments. Now, here's the key. Speed is what changes the game. AI just doesn't give you more ideas. It helps you test them 10 times faster. So imagine this. Imagine that you and I are exactly equally skilled. That may not be true. You might be better, you might be worse, but let's just pretend that we are exact equals when it comes to sales and marketing in commercial printing. So what does that mean? You work on running experiments the old way while I use AI to run experiment after experiment. And by the end of the quarter, I will have run 20 experiments in the time it took you to run 2. So guess who wins? That's why we say whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. And that takes us to turkey slide number 2, because now you should be able to say 2 things. AI can help me be more productive. You saw that when we created the lead scoring model. And AI can help me run experiments fast to find the best wins. That's the experiment toolkit that we just looked at. Now, you might also be saying, but it can't replace my expertise. Well, if you ran the prompt to create your own list of performance experiments and then looked at those experiments for your current role, you'll find that you plus AI can run the performance experiment at least 10 times faster with no compromise in quality and usually an increase in quality, not compared to yourself without AI, but compared to the world's top experts. So not only is your expertise in danger, every expert's expertise is in danger. And this is the major aha moment for people in this new AI world. The real disruption is not just that your expertise is at risk, every expert's expertise is at risk. And here's the even bigger picture. In your future role, imagine becoming the person who, no matter how the world shifts, you can always produce results 10 times faster than anybody else still adapting. That's what staying ahead looks like. All right, engagement. So how do we prove that all of this is real? Well, we need to do 2 things. We need to track results, and we need to communicate progress and expertise in the form of certifications. So we have a process which we just very simply look at. What did you work on? How long did it take you to do with AI? How long did it take you to do before without AI? And all of that comes together to calculate a number. And your job then is to make that number go as high up as you possibly can for everyone on your team. Now, if you don't think measuring progress is a big deal, just think about the last time you posted on LinkedIn or any social media. What's the first thing you did? You look for that red dot. Is it improving? Well, you start tracking the results. You start checking progress. I did it this morning. I had a last minute LinkedIn post to help bring people here, and I wanted to see how it's performing. That's what makes social media so addicting to so many people. Tracking makes an enormous difference in engagement. And the second thing, the certifications. That's what marks and rewards your progress. That's what allows you to prove your AI expertise and promote it for you and your team and show the whole world that you know how to use AI to get results. This shows you can use AI far more than the simple tell me a knock-knock joke prompts. Okay, so I know we are about 45 minutes in, and we are actually getting close to the finish line, probably about 10 minutes away. And let's look at the opportunities that result from becoming an AI workflow master. What we know is that every time that there's a major shift in technology, there are orders of magnitude of opportunity created in that economy. We've been through these. There's the PC revolution. There was a time no one knew a thing about Microsoft. They came out of nowhere, and now they're world famous and fabulously wealthy. Internet revolution, Amazon had to come out of nowhere. Social media, Facebook came out of nowhere. Transportation, that's another shift. Uber came out of nowhere. Now they're everywhere. Well, how do you find those opportunities? How do you be the printer that comes out of nowhere? Well, it's important to see the opportunity and to take action. So what are those opportunities? AI Workflow Master opportunity number one is for the employees, where you can upskill yourself as an employee. Employees are running the equipment, managing the projects, keeping the jobs flowing, and if that's you, AI can help you do the work of 10 people, not by replacing anyone, but by making you way more valuable. There's a stigma. I don't think it's as true as much now as it used to be, but that's still there. Sometimes people will think if I start to use AI, I'm going to work myself out of a job and get fired. You might worry that you'll set themselves up to be replaced by AI and then get let go. But think about that. Who gets let go? It's not the person using AI to do the work of 10 people. It's the other 9 people not being productive that will get fired. So I won't camp out on that one too long today, but if you're in a specific role, there's a lot of upside for you to upskill your skills with AI. As a business owner, you want these kind of employees. AI Workflow Master opportunity number 2, that's for the solopreneurs in the room. Freelancers, consultants, designers, any specialists who support the print shops from the outside. With AI, you can scale your solo operation by delivering more value and faster. Experts are saying that in the next few years, we're going to see the world's first billion-dollar valuation solopreneur company. Sounds ridiculous, but the trend is happening that way. We've already seen the 1 million, 10 million, and 100 million versions of that. I've talked with a number of printers that are ready to transition to their encore career. That kind of speaks to the solopreneur spirit, and AI can help you get there. But for today, we're going to keep moving because most of you are on this call because you're inside the print shop and not just circling around from the outside as a solopreneur. So let's talk about what really moves the needle if you own the whole thing. That is AI Workflow Master opportunity number 3. Make more money as a company. And this is where the focus shifts to the team that you employ. What happens when an organization full of people start to apply these AI mastery methods to their roles? You get to a point where the employer that builds a team with the most AI workflow masters wins. That's another important thing that I want to make sure that you hear. Whoever has the team with the most AI workflow masters wins. You move faster than competitors, you find new opportunities, you execute the most AI-powered performance experiments. You will be positioned to be the printer and marketing services provider that emerges out of the AI revolution. So now we take a look at the 3 options. The first option is the do nothing option. Bad idea. You'll soon be living in a world that expects you to use the AI to do the work of 10 people. It's not enough to have a fleeting familiarity with AI. You need to know how to use AI to come alongside you to do real work every day. That real work, that's all the boxes for those AI workflows we talked about on the grids you created. Let's go back to Andrew Wilkinson's job posting again and look at this line. Would never hire a lawyer unless you absolutely had to. That might seem out of place, but here's what's really being said. What Andrew is saying is you would never spend company resources on external service providers unless you had tried to first solve the problem with AI yourself. And then, and only then, are you allowed to spend company resources on expensive outside service providers. So there's our third turkey slide. That turkey does nothing. So don't do nothing. Don't be that turkey. You don't have to be a turkey. You can turn into an AI eagle. It can be a tough year for people that haven't learned their AI skills, but it can be a very good year if we can help you get focused on the opportunities for AI workflow masters. Now, if you decide to do something, you can do this yourself. You really can, but it will take time for you to filter through all of the AI buzz and hype to find the good stuff. So if you do it yourself, you have to hope you can get your AI skills to the point where you can stay ahead of the advances in AI. And that happens fast. They just seem to roll out every week. There's something new and better. Got to keep up with that. And you can find others to help you do it too. Spend just a few moments on social media. You'll find plenty of ads offering AI help. But consider that if you've seen some things here today that you have not seen before, that might suggest to you that my AI community understands some things about AI that others do not, and that you might want to consider continuing your AI journey with marketing ideas for printers, because we are laser focused on helping printers with their AI journey. That's why we're offering the scholarship to help you get started. That's that Company Champion Certification Scholarship, $4,000 in AI training and certifications. And it's yours for free if you make sure to add your email address to the chat by the time we close this session out. If your email address is in there, we'll make sure to get you set up with that scholarship. So let's review what that includes. It includes the AI Workflow Practitioner certification. That's the training that includes 9 hyper-valuable AI workflows. They're yours to keep and use. You pass an exam on AI workflows and their application to business. Don't let exams scare you. It's a very friendly, almost open book type of an exam. When you do that, you get the AI Workflow Practitioner certification. You can tell the world that you have AI Workflow Practitioner skills. Okay, that is normally $1,000, but that is free in the scholarship. That is free for everyone in your organization. The second thing that the scholarship includes is the AI Workflow Expert certification. 8, well, it's really 9 with the introduction course. 9 workshops designed to take you from an AI novice to an AI workflow expert. That's the course that teaches you how to build AI workflows. When you learn how to do that, you will get the AI Workflow Expert certification. That's normally $3,000, but that is also included in the scholarship. That is free for one person in your company. So it's a high value offer. Honestly, it's a no-brainer. I've aligned myself with Simple Academy at a level that allows me to offer this scholarship to you, because I love working with printers and I want to see you succeed with AI and not just play catch up. So you're either going to call me stupid for making such a high value offer, or I'm going to have to question your sanity and arm wrestle you about not accepting this high value offer. So if you're watching the recording, you can still get that offer as well. The instructions are on the screen that where this recording is being made available. The third part of the scholarship, and we're just about to get one of the AI workflows out of the AI MBA. So for those attending live, we'll be doing that in just a moment. The third part of the scholarship is a 30-day preview of the AI MBA. That is a collection of over 3,200 AI workflows, just like the ones that we've looked at here and the one that we'll review together in a moment. That's going to help your team in 7 major areas of business like strategy, sales, HR. There's a ton of ready-to-use focused AI assistance in the AI MBA. And the AI workflow prompt I'll share in a moment is from the AI MBA. So to wrap things up, the future belongs to AI Workflow Masters. AI Workflow Masters, you're doing the work of 10 people using AI, you're learning new roles and skills 10 times faster, and you are proving what you can do with AI. For me, this is personal. I started exploring AI partly out of curiosity, but mostly because I wanted to make sure my company, Marketing Ideas for Printers, was prepared for a world about to be saturated with AI. But it became so much more than that. I've spent my career helping printers succeed, and I've never seen a shift like this one. It's not a trend, it's a transformation. And you can approach this transformation not with fear, but with confidence. So I want you to have those tools. I want you to have the confidence and the support, not only to keep up with AI, but to lead with AI. That's why we built the AI for Printers program, specifically for printers like you, because it fits perfectly with our promise of helping you sell more printing. And with that, we'll wrap things up and we will move into the AI workflow prompt for those that are attending live. So if you're here live, stick around. After I stop the recording in just a moment, I will give you today's featured AI workflow prompt from the AI MBA. We'll run it together and you'll walk away with a real win. If you're watching the recording, you can also access the featured AI workflow prompt plus all 3,200 others when you request your scholarship at aiforprinters.com. Thanks for watching. For those sticking with me live, stay tuned. I'm going to turn off the recording and we will continue with the prompt from the AI MBA.